If we had $150,000 to invest 20 years ago, I pick stocks, you pick real estate. We just buy and hold. How much do we have today? We are going to use two metrics. Number one, the S&P 500, which is an American stock market index based on the market capitalization of 500 large companies having common stock listed on the major exchanges. Number two, the Teranet National Bank House Price Index, which is an independent representation of rate of change of Canadian single-family home prices. Let's look at the stock performance over the last 20 years. There were some big ups and downs. If you bought in the year 2000, then you had to wait almost 15 years to climb back to the same point. But in general, the long-term trend is still up. Now, let's look at Toronto real estate in the past 20 years. The long-term trend is also up, but the path is much more steady than stocks. No matter which point you bought at, you pretty much enjoy an appreciation in a couple years. Let's turn to a different set of graphs. We will study the percentage change per year. With stocks, the fluctuations were roughly around the 10 to 20% range. The biggest upswing was 32.39% from 2012 to 2013. The biggest downswing was negative 37% from 2007 to 2008. You can lose big, but can also win big if you time it right. With real estate, the fluctuations were much smaller and pretty much always stay between 5 to 10%. Notice that it only went negative once, in 2009, the year after the worldwide financial crisis. If we look at the average percentage change over the past 20 years though, stocks and real estate are pretty much the same, with stocks at 6.66% per year, and with real estate at 6.62% per year. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Let's say I invested $150,000 in stock in 1999. You invested in the same year, same amount in the real estate market. Both stocks and real estate increased at an average rate of 6.6% per year for the last 20 years. So does that mean that we have the same amount of money today? The answer is no. Your real estate investment actually worth 3.7 times more than my stocks. Why? How's that possible? That's because of the power of leverage. With real estate, you can leverage the money from the bank by getting a mortgage. Can you borrow money from bank to buy stocks? I don't know about that, but it is rare for sure. I started with $150,000. With stocks, that's 100% of my money. With real estate, the $150,000 was your 35% down payment. You leveraged 65% of the money from the bank. 20 years later, my $150,000 in stocks becomes $410,000. Your $150,000 in real estate becomes $1.5 million. Of course, there are two key requirements. Number one, you must be qualified for a mortgage. Number two, your rental income is enough to cover your mortgage and all carrying costs. Sometimes you run into a month of vacancy or an unexpected repair. You may have to chip in a couple $1,000s to keep things going. But if you look at the big picture, the few $1,000s is irrelevant when you end up getting $1.1 million more. In reality, most people don't use buy and hold strategies on stocks. Most people would think that they can buy low, sell high. I wish I could time the market too. But unfortunately, I'm like the 80% of the people, not much luck on stock. So I have to stick with real estate. It is by far the easiest and safest way to grow my wealth by leveraging other people's money.